Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe.
And I am Ricky. Today we're reviewing
Cat
Lady.
Cat Lady by AEG is a game, well, effectively you're a cat lady. You're collecting cats and you're going to try to feed those cats because you want to get the most points. You're going to get points in this game from collecting cats, feeding cats. You'll lose points for every cat you don't feed. You're also going to get points for collecting sets of toys, as well as points for costumes and a few other things going on in the game. You want to explain the turn structure?
The turn structure?
Yeah. How's the turn play out?
Well, first you decide who goes first,
Yes,
and the
reasonable.
next person places the cat. Like, I would go first, so I will place the cat.
You want to go first?
Place it. Yes.
Cool. So I'll go ahead and place the cat. Now the goal is you can't take cats from the row or column where the cat is. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and you're taking a full row or column. You'll see in a second.
Yeah,
So I'm actually going to put this over here because I'd like to stop you from getting 2 lost cat cards. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I did not care. I was going to get this row.
Okay, great. So in other words, what you're going to do is you're going to take a full row or column when you play. Then you're going to lay out new cards. And then from there, you're going to move the cat to wherever that row or column was. So in other words, this row is now off limits, stopping people from getting a good selection of new cards. So it's my turn. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these cards. Okay? Because I want those exact things I stopped you from getting. I want those. Now the reason I want those, and I'll go through my turn over here, and then I'll explain how everything works, or you can choose to explain some things. So now that I have 2 lost cat cards, I can choose to discard them to either get a 2 victory point chip or to get a stray cat. So these are the 3 stray cats in the game. Every game you're gonna have 3 stray cats from a deck of stray cats, and those are the only stray cats you'll have in the game. In this case, I'm actually going to take Elliot. I like Elliot. You know what? I'm actually going to take Zerosta. I'm going to try a new strategy. Zerosta is going to give me 2 points for every costume I have. Costumes are a thing in the game. I'm going to try to collect costumes. I'm going to return these to the game. Okay? So that's the way those lost cats work, as well as collecting these stray cats. Do you want to explain the various things on the board?
Yes, there is food. There's 3 types. Well, technically 4 types. Tuna, chicken, milk, and wild. There's also kittens.
But what do you use the food for?
Food to feed your cats. And there's also there's cats.
Yeah.
And kittens.
Yeah, what's the difference between cats and kittens, Ricky?
Cats, you just get the points on them, and you feed them. Kittens, you can pair one with a color that shares. Like, let's pretend you have sparkles, and then you get room. You can pay if you have enough food to feed Sparkle, then you can bond them together, and then they are both fed.
So effectively, kittens are a way of getting some extra points without having to worry about the food cost, as long as you can manage your cat supply. So yeah, every cat on the bottom is going to have a cost in food that you need to pay for it. If you don't feed the cat, you lose 2 points. Regardless of what's printed on it, you only ever lose 2 points for not feeding a cat. Additionally, you're going to lose points for having extra wasted food at the end of the game. Past that, there's going to be toys, which we covered already. Ricky already took a toy. You can see over here, this toy is going to be 1, 3, 5, 8, or 12 points, depending on whether you collected, how many you collected in that set, but unique toys. You want unique toys for a set. Then we're going to have costumes. The person who has the most costumes is going to get 6 victory points. The person who has the least costumes, the person who has anyone who has no costumes loses 2 points. Anything else we're missing? Anything else we're missing? We covered stray cats.
We forgot to say something. You turn in your food cubes.
Yes, whenever you collect food cards, you actually turn them in for food cubes. That's what we have over there.
You should always get tuna at the beginning of the game.
Then there's going to be
tuna goes out fast and it's also is often needed.
Do you want to explain catnip?
Yes, catnip is sort of the risk.
Yeah.
Do you take it or not? If you only have 1 catnip, you lose 2 VIP points. So if a lot of people already have a bunch of catnip, don't take it. 2 to 3. 1 VIP point per cat you feed. 4, 2 VIP points per cat you feed.
So effectively, catnip can be very helpful, especially if you're going for a high feeding cat strategy. There's a bunch of strategies you can pursue in this game, from collecting costumes to collecting toys. You're going to for sure need some cats in your scoring, but how dominant you go on your cat scoring strategy is up to you, and catnip is definitely a way to go if you're going to go ahead and do that. So basically, that's the game. You go ahead, take a row or column, fill the row, move the cat. Next person takes a row or column, fill the row, move the cat. One last thing to note is going to be the spray bottle. Spray bottle is a card you can take that if you get the spray bottle, at any point you can discard it to move the cat token, letting you take the row or column that just came out. That can be situationally advantageous.
And there's no point in just like going here instead because it's going to move right back here.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
So just don't move it and just pretend it's not there.
Rinse and repeat until you run out of cards. There's going to be a variable number of cards depending on the player count. So you'll have little symbols in the cards telling you for 3 or 4 players. But rinse and repeat until you run out of cards. It's worth noting these kittens are a small modular expansion. They do not come with the base game of Cat Lady. So in case you do get this game based on our review, just understand the kittens are something you have to get separately from that. That's the overview of the game.
And if you're confused about, does that cat count? I mean, it is that color, but it also has another. In the corner, there's letters for things. And if it's multiple colors, like in this situation, it's just one. It's on the corner, it says B plus white, I think.
Yep. It says B plus W.
Yes, W. It means black plus white.
Yep.
So you don't get confused.
Yeah, we spent the first game trying to figure out a few things of, is it a mixed color, does it count, does it not? And then we realized the colors in the corner, which made things a little more helpful.
Yes, sir.
Anything else I missed, or is that the game?
Let me think.
I think that's the game then.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Ricky, what do you like about Cat Lady?
Cats.
Cats. Well, cats are reasonable. Anything else past the cats?
I also like how you have to have like a fight to grab stuff before other players do, and make sure and try to block stuff, and you have to make sure that you get stuff before the other players, and you have to make sure don't get catnip if you're not sure. And you also want to get costumes. The second someone gets a costume, you will lose 2 VIP points if you don't have any.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, it doesn't count until someone gets a costume.
Yeah, wait, what doesn't count? Oh no, you're automatically gonna have that happen because someone's gonna get a costume for sure. How would someone not get a costume in this game?
No, I was pointing out when you get a costume, it starts.
Okay.
So the second someone gets a costume, immediately starts to get one, unless that's you.
Gotcha. For myself, yeah, the Cat Lady is a game of, it's a classic game of set collection. The goal is always to try to figure out which 3 cards work best to match your strategy, and then depending if you're playing 2, 3, or 4 players, you're trying to figure out, well, will I still have a chance to get the new things that pop out? To that end, I do prefer the game with 2 or 3 players. There's a little more control of seeing what you can actually potentially get again, but ultimately it's just a fun little puzzle of trying to see, well, I need cats, but I need to feed those cats, so I can get those cats. Those will be really helpful, but I actually could really use this chicken over here. I want the chicken to feed Sherman Meow, but I gotta choose what I need to get here, and everything's a little bit of a puzzle of, do I want the catnip, do I want the food, do I want the toys, do I want the kittens? All the things in the game are good, and ultimately it comes down to how you can most comprehensively can figure out what is good for you and your strategy and your current tableau. Throw in some of the stray cats, which have abilities that will push you in a certain direction. So for instance, when I took Zerosta over here, I get 2 points for each costume I have, so suddenly I'm that much more motivated to be the person with the most costumes because I'm scoring points in 2 ways from doing so. All those are going to combine to be a fun, tight little puzzle, simple to play, fast play time, rewarding for what it's doing. This plays in what, 20 minutes or so? What does the box say?
15.
15 minutes. The box says
10,
it plays in. The box says that it plays in 30 minutes playing time.
Well, it takes us like 10 minutes.
I don't think it takes us 10, but I agree it's probably 15, 20 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just definitely a short game. Lots of fun, lots of punch for the playtime. Anything you don't like about the game?
The lack of tuna.
The lack of tuna. So, tuna, for some reason, we actually, I don't think there's actually less tuna than anything else. But for some reason, we'll count the cubes.
It feels...
It certainly feels like there's less tuna than everything else. We constantly fight over tuna. It certainly feels like there's less to go around. For myself, I would say the biggest thing I don't like about the game is going to come down to variability. The stray cats are going to be the biggest form of variability you have in the game. Which stray cats you add to which game, and the slight way they mesh up the game is going to do that. But the rest of the game is going to be the same game every time. Now, it's fun, but it's the kind of thing where I play it, it's awesome, great, I play 15, 20 minutes, I do it again, maybe get 2 or 3 games in a row, and then I'm not in a rush to pull it out right away because it feels like the same experience every time. There's not a lot to mix up the experience. But that's the variability is going to be the only real complaint I have against it.
There are 15 tunas and 29 chickens.
How many milk?
I didn't count the milk because I wasn't comparing milk.
There's going to be 15 milk. There's going to be 15 milk too. So apparently there is more meat, apparently. I didn't realize that. There's more chicken. I didn't realize that. Cool. Good to know. But yeah, so anything you don't like with the game? Well, you know tuna. Anything else?
I also don't like that there's a little too much cats. Cause like one game, we were like having a dry spell. We got like one cat, and then suddenly every single card on the board except for one card was a cat, and the single card wasn't even food.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
no one could. Everyone had to take cats that couldn't feed.
Yeah, if you don't shuffle the deck well, or even just sometimes when you shuffle well, just the nature of a random assortment of cards, you could sometimes have front-loaded in terms of having all the food at the beginning, all the cats at the end, or vice versa, and that might mess up your ability to really work as you move, trying to force you into strategies that will lock you into a degree. Anything you can see others not liking? For me, the biggest thing I can see others not liking is just going to come down to the luck of the cards that come out. Now, the Stray Cat does a good job mitigating that. The Stray Cat means that first row that pops up, the first person can't take all the cards. Instead, they can take from a column, potentially.
Or they can use a spray bottle.
But for the most part, the Stray Cat does do a good job limiting that. But there still will be some luck of the draw of, well, you just got that perfect row of costumes that work with Zoroaster. That's not fair, because I've been trying to get the catnip or this or that. It's a fast game that's 15-20 minutes. Doesn't really bother me.
Yes, one thing I see someone not liking, the catnip. It's fun, but it's also super annoying and stressful.
Do you try to avoid the catnip now?
No.
You still go for it?
I try to go for it, but...
Because you usually go for high cat strategies.
I know. Well, it's actually not what I go. I just like getting cats a lot.
Cool. So, overall, final thoughts and score. So, Ricky, what would you rate this game?
Out of?
Out of 5.
Eh.
What do you want it to rate out of? You can rate it out of whatever you want. What do you want?
I want to do it out of 10.
Out of 10.
That makes it better.
What do you rate it out of?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Cool. Well, that will line up nicely with mine. Mine's going to be a 4 to 5. Now, 4 to 5 is always a tricky one with a game that's this light. I would say I'm rating it as a 4 to 5 for the genre it's in terms of being a lighter, fast, punchy game. This is not going to compare in terms of the strategy for many of the other games I would rate it for. This is not the same level as those games, but this is a lot of fun. We pulled out Cat Lady. We kind of played it. We weren't expecting to like it. And, I mean, I don't know if that's true. You might have been expecting to like it. I pulled it out because you wanted to play it, and I was like, I didn't really care. And it's actually, it's a quick, fast game where you're trying to gather a bunch of cards, and the cohesiveness of what's going on works fairly well. So for the genre it's in, for the playtime it's in, this is a 4 to 5 for me. A fun, rewarding experience that I can easily recommend. Again, remember the kittens, which we do like the kittens, right?
Yes, kittens.
Yeah, and I think there's another expansion too. I'm not entirely sure.
Box of treats.
There's a Box of Treats expansion, apparently. But yeah, we can't talk about the Box of Treats, but the kittens do add to the... It gives you one more element of strategy to be managing, because you suddenly have these extra cats that they cost more food in relation to the points, so they're not worth it in that sense. But you can suddenly have this other aspect of free points, especially if you have... Well, you see this one costs 2 food for 2 points.
They all cost 2 random foods.
Yeah, but lots of the other cats in the game tend to give you a lot more food for points. Not all of them, but lots. Like this one's 3 food for 6 points. Meow. Yeah. So overall, I think, do we recommend Cat Lady?
Yes.
We absolutely recommend Cat Lady by AEG.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts? Anything else?
I'm quite interested in the Box of Treats expansion, because in the kittens thing it actually tells about it. There's boxes and treats, so I'm interested in seeing how that plays out.
Awesome. Yeah, I have no clue what's in it. We'll take a look
after. It's
after.
like the first time I've ever actually had good final thoughts.
Yeah. You always get stressed out about the final thoughts.
Yeah, it's because everything I think about the game always goes into the negative and positive.
That's reasonable.
But Box of Treats is just interesting.
That's reasonable enough. I'm cool with that. Alright, anyways, I'm Alex.
And I'm Ricky.
And have a good one.